So the fine athletes at Chico State University thought it'd be a great idea to talk to virtue signal. Nah, I can't be sarcastic. The fine people at Chico State University decided it'd be a great idea to virtue signal to a bunch of people on the internet about how they're better than us and how they don't use specific words because it hurts feelings. And I decided I'm gonna read out some of these posters and discuss them because I actually think there's a gigantic problem here with a lot of these pictures. But we're gonna get into that. That being said, let's go ahead and start the show. I don't say whore because it's degrading to women. Now, what kills me about this first picture is the fact that the word whore apparently is so offensive, they couldn't even they had they had to censor it. Are we to this point where we're so weak-willed that we can't even read words anymore without it hurting our feelings? Goodness gracious. Now the thing that gets me about this picture in particular, though, is because it's degrading to women. Now, in all actuality, I think this is one of the biggest insults to women as a whole. Not whore as an insult, but this amorphous fusion of all women as a whole, as if there's no such thing as a good woman and there's no such thing as a bad woman. You know, I think that's detrimental to women as a whole, honestly. That pretending that all women are equal and no women ever are actually shitty people, just they all form into this amorphous blob of meh. You know, I think, you know, actually puts a hindrance on women who try to become better people, you know, because they're always just thought of as delicate little flowers that can't have their feelings hurt. They're never thought of as actually strong individuals who can handle themselves in tough situations. More specifically, though, onto this whore thing, this is just ridiculous. It really is. A woman who prostitutes herself is a woman. Not all. It's not unless you want to say that being a whore itself is degrading, and there's an argument for that, certainly. Using the word itself to describe a woman that is a prostitute is not degrading to all women, because all women aren't whores. It's just this is stupid. We don't say just kill me, because suicide is not a joking matter, and it never will be. Well, it would actually be homicide if someone is about to kill you, but that's me being pedantic. You know, there's half a point here, and the half point is if someone is struggling with suicidal thoughts, maybe it might be triggering, or maybe it might be a little insensitive to bring it up, but that's only, of course, if you have the knowledge that the person it has suicidal thoughts. I mean, if you don't know and it's a joke, then even depression or not, someone should have the sensibility to understand that you don't actually mean that you want to kill them. And see, that's the thing about jokes. Jokes are hyperbolic. No one says, just blow my fucking head off, because they actually want their head to be blown off. It's the absurdity of that statement, the absurdity of wanting to die because someone said something stupid or inflammatory, that makes the joke funny. That's what is the backbone of very many jokes. This is Kevin Hart's entire stand-up routine. It's the absurdity of his stories, the exaggeration, that makes them funny. No one should take this as a serious declaration of ending their lives. And so, yeah, sure, suicide is a serious situation, but that doesn't mean that you should choke the life out of people joking about it, because I don't know, sometimes it helps people heal. Sometimes, you know, thinking or seeing hilarious things, dark humor, can be healthy for some people. So I mean, half a point to yes, suicide is serious, but you guys lose that other half of a point in that it's absurd for a reason, and that's the joke. No one actually means to kill them. You don't say that's retarded because it discriminates against people with disabilities. Now, I personally try my best not to call things retarded, and that's just me personally. I don't really mind if anyone else does it, but I just avoid doing it because retarded to me implies that the person can't do anything about their stupid stature, when I don't think that's the case with a lot of people I talk about. I think that they can do something about it. I think mentally challenged people is unfortunate, and they're just kind of stuck that way. But people who choose to be stupid, people who choose to be wrong when they can be right, I guess I just use the word to be more accurate. That said, if anyone else uses the word, I mean, I don't find it as it discriminates against people with disabilities. I just, you know, I think it communicates the information pretty well. What you said was ridiculous. That's really what it means when you're talking to someone that isn't actually mentally challenged. So I mean, this is a bit of a nitpick, honestly. I don't really think that this is much to be upset about. We don't say no homo because sexual orientation has nothing to do with self-expression. Now, you and I both know damn straight that shit's just not fucking true. It's not true. It's not. Why are some homosexuals very flamboyant? Come on. Come on. Why is it possible that some people can point out who's gay and who's not gay if being like look at Dykes. Again, if being a homosexual wasn't a part of her identity, she wouldn't be trying her damnedest to look like a man. And vice versa with a homosexual man. If homosexuality and that flamboyant attitude of talking with a lisp or trying to sway your hips, which I've seen, it's fucking weird, but I've seen it. And that's the thing, if we can point out, that these feminine gay men exist, being gay has something to do with their self-expression, especially if you have gay pride parades. I mean, let's think about this one for a second. If being gay didn't have anything to do with self-expression, how could you possibly have a gay pride parade? Otherwise, you just have a bunch of people walking down the street. I mean, come on. That's just not true. That's just not true. That said, I mean, only children fucking say no. I don't know very many adults that say no homo in earnest. I mean, that's something you get in the 3rd grade. Not even the 3rd. I mean, I think more like, I remember the 8th grade, the 7th grade. I mean, come on. Like 12-year-olds do that, bro. Like grown-ass men, we don't fucking care. I don't say like a girl because gender has no limits. Now, that's just not true. That's just false. Unfortunately, your body produces less testosterone than a man. Your muscle mass is limited by the fact that you don't produce that much. In fact, some women that exercise way too much, they look at gymnasts. Some women that exercise to that extreme measure end up losing their period. They don't even go through puberty if you are in gymnastics since the time you're like 5 years old as a woman. It's weird. I don't understand exactly why that is, but I mean, extreme physical exercise for women actually breaks their bodies down a lot faster than it would for men because they don't have testosterone. That's just not true. That's just not a true statement. And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but you need to take that up with reality. I don't say you're a pussy, because a part of a woman's body should never be associated as a connotation for weakness. But now this is a little ridiculous to me, because I couldn't find one that says, I don't say you're a dick, because a man's part of a body should never be associated with unpleasant behavior. I mean, that's the thing that gets me. We'll use men's anatomy, or just asshole, which is just human anatomy, to insult people all the time. But apparently, if we use a female's anatomy, well, then it's wrong. Calling people a dick or a penis or a prick, that's totally fine. We can insult men all we want. But when we get to women, that's taking that one a little too far, guys. Can't use the word pussy even though we do the same exact thing for men. That's not equality. Oh wait, I don't say she-male because a woman's strength does not undermine her femininity. I don't know very many people that actually do use the term female to describe any woman that isn't, broad fucking shouldered and kind of looks like a man. Even still, I mean, it's a joke. I don't know very many people that actually use the word she-male. I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. Because a woman's strength is not, I mean, you're right, it doesn't. But not using the word she-male isn't going to, change much of anything. It's just virtue signaling. It's really all it is. I don't say spaz due to my cousin's disabilities he cannot control. And I think that's okay, fine. If you want to respect your cousin and not use mean words to describe people, I mean, fine. But here's the understanding. Again, the point of using the word spaz to describe an individual that isn't actually a spaz is the absurdity and the exaggeration of their actions. Very clearly, you don't actually think that person is a spaz. That's the joke. You don't mean it in seriousness. You're not actually trying to insult the person. It's a joke. It's supposed to make everyone laugh, unless the person is trying to insult you. I mean, the only way you could do that is if the person is actually spastic, and then you're insulting the very nature, the very identity of who they are. But again, it's a fucking joke. Yeah, you shouldn't take it to heart, if someone's being spastic, or if someone says you're being spastic, because that's what it is. It's not a serious assessment of a person's actions. It's an exaggeration specifically to make someone laugh. I don't say runs like a girl because being a female doesn't hinder my athleticism. Now again, that's just not true. That is not a true statement. Physically, you being a woman does hinder your athleticism when you compare it to that of a man. Most women, now I don't think any woman is ever going to be of equal stature to a man in terms of physical prowess, unless that man himself never, even then, I think naturally your testosterone as a man just makes you stronger than even women that do exercise. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Oh. and that's just the way it is. I don't say nigga or nigger because it's derogatory and offensive to me, my family, and to people of color. Nigga, please. I mean, this is something that I say about the word nigga all the time. I'm not gonna let any word have the power to destroy my self-esteem or cripple me or to weaken me at all. I'm not gonna give people the satisfaction of knowing the word nigger or nigga hurts me. And so I use the word all the time. And the thing that gets me, and I see some people on my YouTube, they try to call me a nigger, but I just laugh. It's comical to me because if these people think I'm so weak-willed as to be hurt by a 5-letter or 6-letter word, they're gonna have to do something a lot better. I went to high school, man. You know, I had my heart broken numerous times. You gotta do a lot better than calling me a nigger if you want to hurt my feelings. That's how I think a lot of black people should look at it. Don't let these people have that power over you. You know, don't let these people be able to control your day with a simple word. You know? That's how I feel about it, at least. We don't say fag because it gives a negative connotation to someone's sexual identity. I mean, hardly anyone even uses the word fag to describe gay people anyway. Usually people use the term fag and faggot to describe a weak-willed person. Or at least that's how I've used it and seen people use it. But I mean, I don't really use the word faggot all that much as it stands, so me. I don't say man up because it insinuates that women can't be courageous. Now, see, it's hilarious to me. Once again, this is a constant theme I see with women all the time. They take a problem or an issue that primarily affects men, and they make it a problem for women. And it's not, I don't just see this with feminists, but I see it with a lot of women all the time. Not all, but with a lot of women, they take a problem that has nothing to do with being a woman. It has everything to do with that's detrimental to men, and they gotta make women the victim somehow. How is man up a problem for women when women are the ones primarily using it against men? As a child, I used to hear man up from a lot of guys too. As I've gotten older, the only fucking people I hear in my lifetime, in the media, anywhere, as adults, tell men to man up, not other men, it's mostly women. Even still, to actually respond to this, I don't say man up because it insinuates women can't be courageous. No, it doesn't. It insinuates that men are supposed to be courageous, and that a man that isn't being courageous or a man that isn't trying to do something for women is bad at being a man. It has nothing to fucking do with women. Now the thing is, Chico State actually got this idea, or I believe they got this idea, from Duke University. So here are just a couple I found from Duke students a couple of years ago. It goes, I don't say man up because it perpetuates the superiority of masculinity. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't say bossy because I'm not ashamed of my determination. Well, yeah. I mean, that's stupid. What if you're actually being bossy? Hey, stop being oh, wait, hold on. Even though it accurately describes this person's behavior, I can't use that word because it's going to hurt their feelings. Yeah. Come on. And then the last one. I don't say slut because it stigmatizes women's sexual freedom. Now, this has always been really fucking silly to me. Silly because, I mean, women don't have to be promiscuous in order to explore their sexuality. They really don't. I find it very sad that it seems the only way that women can be praised for being sexual is if they have to get a whole bunch of dick. It's really a staple of our times when women can't be, you know, sexually liberated by having children, or they can't be liberated by being with someone they actually like. It's always has to be a fucking train of men coming by. They have to show themselves on the internet and blast people's face with sexuality. That's the only way women can be sexually liberated. Come on, the fuck out of here. I mean, I think there's so many other ways that we just as people can be liberated sexually, and I don't think it has to include promiscuity, especially considering the fact that it oftentimes always ends up damaging the woman anyway. Those are all of the different clips that I mean all the different pictures that I have saved up. And the only thing I really have to say is this: I'm really getting sick and tired of this weakness, this weak, whiny bullcrap that gets peddled. You know, the only way we can get stronger, the only way we can deal with these problems is if we actually, you know, build an immunity to it. Let's look at our body's immune system. The way we become strong enough to deal with different types of diseases is our body has been targeted by it. Our body has been influenced. A flu or a virus, a cold, bacteria, it gets into our bodies. Our immune system learns about it. It builds up antiviruses, or yeah, and it attacks it and it kills it and destroys it. And then now the next time that virus or bacteria gets into our bodies, we already have the antibodies, and so what do? Our bodies automatically just brush it away. You know, the same thing with our muscles. In order to grow strong, and this is what's really ironic, these guys are all athletes, so they know this. In order for our muscles to get stronger, you have to exercise them, you have to break the muscle fibers, rip them apart, then you have to heal them. And when your muscle fibers are healed, you're stronger. Well, your mind works in the same way. If you never deal with these mean words, if you never deal with another person's opinion, if you never deal with the fact that someone says or does something mean, you don't build up the mental tolerance to deal with it. And I think that this is really hurting us as people, you know. So I mean, the final message today is, you know, you guys, you got to deal with some hard stuff. You know, that's how you get stronger. You get stronger by dealing with tough situations and sometimes tough and mean words. And in the end, you're always going to end up being better for it because now you've grown stronger. And guess what? Now you naturally won't call people whore, slut, you know, or nigger or all of that because you personally have dealt with it and you don't want to inflict that on someone else. Instead of virtue signaling it out, it's just a natural consequence of you being a stronger person. So that being said, man, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, man, go ahead and click that like button. Yeah, shoot, go and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.